I want you to think about a number, $12,000. That is what the average American spends on their car every single year, not their mortgage, not their rent, not their health care, their car. $12,000 a year, $1,000 a month. Every month, year after year. And the terrifying part? Most people have absolutely no idea they are spending this much, because nobody ever adds it all up. Until now. Let me break down exactly where that $12,000 goes, because most people only think about one cost, their monthly payment. The average new car payment in America right now is $735 a month. That is $8,820 a year, just in payments. But that is only the beginning. Cost 1, car insurance. The average American pays $2,150 a year for car insurance as of 2025. If you're under 30, that number is closer to $3,000 to $4,000 a year. Cost 2, gasoline. The average American drives about 15,000 miles a year. At current gas prices and average fuel efficiency, that is roughly $2,000 a year in fuel. Cost 3, maintenance and repairs. Oil changes, tires, brake pads. The random thing that breaks at the worst possible moment. AAAA estimates average annual maintenance and repair costs at $1,200 to $1,500 a year. Cost 4, registration and taxes. Depending on your state, annual registration fees and taxes run $200 to $700 a year. Cost 5, depreciation. This is the hidden killer that nobody talks about. A new car loses roughly 20% of its value in the first year alone. On a $35,000 car, that is $7,000 gone in year 1, simply from driving it off the lot. Over 5 years, the average car loses 60% of its value. Now add it all up. Payment, $8,820. Insurance, $2,150. Gas, $2,000. Maintenance, $1,300. Registration, $400. That is $14,670 a year before depreciation. The AAA puts the true all-in cost of car ownership at $10,000 to $12,000 a year for an average vehicle. For trucks and SUVs, which are now the most popular vehicles in America, that number goes to $14,000 to $16,000. One vehicle, every year, gone. Let us put $12,000 into perspective. $12,000 a year is $1,000 a month. That is more than most Americans have in their savings account. The median American savings account balance is $8,000. Your car costs more than that every single year. $12,000 a year invested at 7% average market return over 30 years is $1.2 million. That is what your car is costing you in retirement wealth. Not the car you drive for your whole life, just the one you own right now. And here is what makes this worse. Most Americans do not own one car, they own two. The average American household has 1.88 vehicles. Two cars at $12,000 each is $24,000 a year, $2,000 a month, just to own vehicles that sit parked 95% of the time. Studies show the average car is parked and unused for 23 hours out of every 24. You are paying $2,000 a month for something you use 1 hour a day, and in most American cities, you have no choice, because the infrastructure was built around the car, which was not an accident either. But that is a whole other video. Here is the part of this video that changes how you see everything. America was not always car-dependent. In the early 1900s, American cities had extensive streetcar networks. You could get almost anywhere in most cities without a car. Between the 1930s and 1950s, those networks were systematically dismantled. General Motors, Firestone Tires, Standard Oil, and Mack Trucks formed a company called National City Lines. They bought streetcar systems in over 45 American cities and shut them down. In 1949, they were convicted of conspiracy to monopolize the transportation market. The fine was $5,000. Then the Federal Highway Act of 1956 poured $25 billion, equivalent to hundreds of billions today, into building the interstate highway system. Cities were redesigned around cars. Zoning laws required parking minimums at every building. Suburbs spread out so far that walking or cycling became impossible. The result is a country where most people have no realistic alternative to owning a car. Not because cars are the best solution, because the system was built deliberately to make cars the only solution. And every year you spend $12,000 on that car, the companies that built this system collect their return on investment. Let me show you what car costs look like in countries that built differently. In the Netherlands, 27% of all trips are made by bicycle, not because Dutch people are unusually athletic, because their cities are built so that cycling is faster and more convenient than driving. The average Dutch person spends about $3,000 a year on transportation, total, including occasional car rental and public transport. Compare that to $12,000 for the average American. In Japan, owning a car in Tokyo requires proof that you have a parking space before you can register the vehicle. Parking spaces in central Tokyo cost $300 to $500 a month. So most Tokyo residents simply do not own cars. They use one of the most efficient public transport systems in the world. Average transportation cost for a Tokyo resident, $1,200 to $2,000 a year. In Germany, the monthly public transport pass, valid across buses, trams, and trains, was introduced at €49 a month, under $55. $55 a month for unlimited transport versus $1,000 a month for car ownership. The difference is not lifestyle. The difference is infrastructure choices made by governments over decades. America chose cars, and you pay for that choice every single month. So what can you actually do with this information? Option 1. Downgrade aggressively. The single most powerful car decision you can make is buying a reliable used car outright. A $8,000 used Toyota or Honda bought with cash eliminates the $8,820 annual payment entirely. Your total annual cost drops to insurance plus fuel plus maintenance, roughly $4,000 to $5,000 a year instead of $12,000. You just freed up $7,000 a year. Invested over 20 years, that is over $300,000. Option 2, go to one car. If your household has 2 cars and both people work remotely or near each other, eliminate one. $12,000 freed immediately, every single year. Option 3, move somewhere with real transport. This sounds extreme, but cities like New York, Chicago, Washington, D.C., and Boston have public transport good enough to go car-free. Car-free in New York saves $12,000 a year minimum. A Metro card costs about $1,400 a year. Net saving $10,600 every year. That is $106,000 over 10 years. Option 4, the international option. If you move to a country with real public infrastructure, Portugal, Japan, Germany, Netherlands, your transportation costs drop to $1,500 to $3,000 a year. That $9,000 annual saving alone can fund a significantly better quality of life abroad than you have at home. The car is not just a monthly payment, it is one of the largest wealth destroyers in the average American life. And now you know the real number, $12,000 a year, $1,000 every single month, for something that sits parked 23 hours a day, in a country that was deliberately redesigned to make it impossible to live without one. Now you have the real number. I want to know yours. Comment below, what is your total monthly car cost? Payment, insurance, gas, add it up right now. I guarantee most people who do this calculation for the first time will be genuinely shocked at what they find. If this video showed you something real, share it with someone who just bought a new car and has no idea what it is actually costing them. Next week, I am breaking down medical bankruptcy, why America is the only developed country where getting sick can destroy your finances completely. The escape math. See you next week. See you next.